Hi, I'm Sathi Roy. Welcome to my series, Conversations with Phoenix. Direct, powerful, and unfiltered discussions on humanity, the universe, relationships, and the cycles of transformation.
Love. Big word you just used. Love. What does love mean?
So love, we say, has three qualities, not the highest love. We have a word called Ananda.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Ananda, bliss, love. It's of the three qualities. First is that it is eternal. So it's not a love that comes and goes, right? So sometimes we love somebody,
Right.
then we don't love them, and then we love them. So it comes and goes. The type of love that we're talking about is eternal. It's never comes, never goes. It's always existed. Okay. The second is that when you experience it, there's nothing higher. So you experience a lot of different types of things in this world that we might think is love, but there's always something more to be experienced, right? There's a much better flavor of ice cream, a much better pizza place. So there's always something better to experience. But when you experience divine love, there is nothing.
Right.
That's it. It's like game over. And lastly, that love is looking to experience itself more and more and more. And so that love is constantly expanding. You can't put love in a box and say, this is love. That love experiences itself and expands more and more and more. So when we talk about love, we're talking about that which possesses these three qualities: eternal, nothing higher, and constantly expanding. That's who we are.
Right.
We are that love. That's what we should strive to understand, that is our nature.
And that is not something that we learn quickly, right?
Yeah, and also that three qualities in the Vedic tradition is given many names. Right? So love is given many names. Love is sometimes spoken about from a deity perspective. We'll say love is Krishna, love is Kali, love is Narasimha. Sometimes we'll speak about it as a formless energy called Brahman. Love is Brahman. Right? In the Vedic or in the Abrahamic tradition, we might refer to love as Allah, or Jesus Christ, or Buddha. So we have many names for love, but whatever you call it, it should possess those three qualities. It's of eternal nature. It's the highest thing you can experience in this world, and it's constantly growing.
Universe, Mother Nature, Source, all of these are
that. Everything is the same. I like to just say the word love because it's just inclusive, but you can call it many different things.
Right.
So many names. It's almost like, in like Antarctica. If you go there, the people of that space, they have 20 different names for snow.
Have you been to Antarctica?
I'm not. I wish I have, but I'm not. But what I've
Next
heard,
video.
they have 20 different names for snow.
Wow.
They have a name for wet snow, slushy snow, heavy. Why? Because snow is such an integral part of life.
Right.
And so in the same way, in the Vedic tradition, we don't just have one name for love. We don't just have one name for the divine. We have so many different ways to describe.
Even without language, how important language is, because language is incredibly important to understand and then speak using the right language. Sanskrit is a really powerful language. And that's because there's so many words to describe one subject. So even to the point of love, right? There's love to a sister, love to a brother, love to a pet, love to a deity. And those are all, that's love, but they're completely different slices and aspects of love.
And even Sanskrit, even one word can be translated 27 different ways. That's why whenever you take up a Vedic text, like for example, let's say the Bhagavad Gita, we recommend you just don't read it just directly, because it all depends on which book you pick up. If you follow a certain philosophy, the interpretation will be completely different.
Right.
It'll be a completely different way of interpreting and translating the verses. So that's why it's so important. You got to resonate with a teacher or a tradition, and then through that learn these texts. And then you're going to get so much more out of it.
What I love is how abstract it is. That is always what I resonated with, because it was an abstract, philosophy, way of life, way of loving, living, breathing, thinking, right? Just navigating. And going back to the conversion conversation, that's a big differentiator. The fact that, there's a belief that there's one life versus there is many opportunities, many lives, reincarnation, and there's so many, because there are so many different aspects to experience of everything, right? And that's why in this side, it's one book, one word, and on this side, it's who cares? I mean, let's interpret it with the way that it fits you.
Exactly. So we there's two terms we use for this. We call it salvation tradition. So the salvation tradition is there's a savior, and they come to free you from an existence of hell. So it's I'm being saved, right? That's called salvation theology or tradition, and that's like your modern day Abrahamic traditions. Then you have something called the realization theology or tradition. The realization theology is that I'm not being saved. I'm just experiencing more and more and more of who I am. And so I've come in this world to realize more about my true nature. There's nothing to save. There's nothing bad.
Totally.
It's just about realizing more and more that you are this love. And so the realization theologies are what we refer to as Hinduism, Buddhism, Sikhism, Jainism, and so forth and so on.
Right. You're experiencing more and more truth, right? You're just learning what that word means through experience.
And that's why you come. That's why it's realization. You're not trying to be saved from anything. There's nothing to be saved from. It's just about experiencing more and more and more of who you are.
Well, I talk a lot about the human experience, and I feel very strongly about this. I feel that the human experience is very much so looked down upon in a lot of schools of thought. And I don't know why, because it's the most inherently spiritual experience, going through the human experience, which includes the trials, the tribulations, the craziness, the drama, the ups and downs. It's part of the human experience. You have to human to experience truth, source, love, right? Insert word.
Fullest potential.
Right. Otherwise, we wouldn't be conscious in this current plane together.
We come into this world to experience a lot of different things, right? If you want to experience hell, guess where you have to go to do that? Right into your mind. You can make your whole life a hell.
Totally.
Just by how you view life with your mind. If you want to make this beautiful, it's also in the mind. And so all experiences are given to the people. You want to materially engage and be in this reality all the time, go for it. If you want to see love in this reality, go for it. Everything's given for you. And the more and more the experiences you have, the richer and richer life you live.
Right.